In a world where body image is constantly under scrutiny, one of the most persistent myths revolves around breast size and what it supposedly reveals about a woman's personality, desires, and behavior. Popular media, cultural stereotypes, and even social conditioning have long pushed the idea that a woman's body can be read like a book, but how much of this is true, and how much is psychological projection? This article dives deep into the psychology behind women with smaller breasts, explores the real science beyond the stereotypes, and unveils surprising facts about the female body that challenge conventional thinking. Whether you're looking to understand women better, reflect on your own body image, or uncover some mind-blowing truths, prepare to be shocked and educated. Small breasts, big confidence, the hidden power. Contrary to what many believe, women with smaller breasts often develop a unique kind of confidence. Research in evolutionary psychology suggests that when a woman doesn't rely on physical attributes typically glorified in media, like large breasts, she often compensates by honing other strengths, like wit, intelligence, humor, or a powerful presence. This confidence isn't about arrogance, it's about resilience. Many small-breasted women report being underestimated or overlooked in adolescence, only to grow into empowered, unapologetically confident adults. They're more in tune with their bodies. Studies show that women with smaller breasts tend to report higher body sensitivity and are more attuned to the subtleties of touch and sensation. From a psychological perspective, this means they may experience a deeper connection between their body and emotions. This often translates to better self-awareness, improved emotional regulation, and even greater sexual satisfaction, not because of breast size itself, but because of how attuned they are to their entire body. They defy the male gaze stereotype. Modern psychology emphasizes the impact of the male gaze, a concept suggesting that women are often socially conditioned to view themselves through the lens of male desire. But women with smaller breasts are statistically more likely to reject these societal expectations and define their worth by their own standards. This psychological autonomy fosters independence, assertiveness, and a resistance to superficial validation, traits that are deeply attractive in long-term relationships. More likely to be comfortable going braless. While this may seem like a small detail, the psychology behind going braless is fascinating. It symbolizes freedom, self-acceptance, and a rejection of social pressures. Many women with smaller breasts feel less social pressure to wear bras, allowing them to embrace natural comfort and challenge beauty norms. This kind of choice reflects a broader psychological trend. Smaller-breasted women often report higher levels of body authenticity, meaning they feel freer to present themselves exactly as they are. Breast size and personality correlation. The myth debunked. There's a persistent myth that breast size correlates with certain personality traits, such as women with large breasts being more nurturing or those with small breasts being more introverted. Science disagrees. Psychologists emphasize that personality is shaped by a complex mix of genetics, environment, upbringing, and personal choices. Breast size, a product of biology and genetics, does not dictate temperament or values. In fact, relying on such stereotypes can lead to inaccurate assumptions and missed connections. The role of testosterone in breast development and behavior. Here's where it gets interesting. Women with smaller breasts may have slightly higher levels of testosterone relative to estrogen during puberty. This can result in less fatty tissue accumulation in the chest area, but testosterone also influences personality traits, like assertiveness, competitiveness, and independence. So, while not universal, some women with smaller breasts might exhibit slightly more assertive or dominant behaviors, not because of breast size itself, but due to hormonal balance during development. From a psychological standpoint, women with smaller breasts often grow up in a world where the ideal female form is depicted with curves in all the right places. But instead of conforming, many small-breasted women redefine what beauty means to them. This psychological rebellion, either conscious or unconscious, often fosters creativity, authenticity, and inner strength. They may explore fashion more freely, embrace minimalist aesthetics, or develop a deeper appreciation for the unique features, rejecting mass-produced ideals and embracing individuality. Clothing confidence, the fashion advantage. Psychologically, clothing plays a massive role in self-expression. Women with smaller breasts often experience a broader range of fashion choices, less concern about cleavage, strap issues, or tight fits. This leads to more creative freedom, which in turn boosts body confidence. Many report feeling empowered by how they dress, not because they're hiding anything, but because they're dressing for themselves, not for male approval. This promotes a strong internal locus of control, a powerful psychological trait linked to happiness and self-sufficiency. Perceived intelligence and small breasts. Though it's a stereotype, and potentially a harmful one, multiple social experiments have shown that people perceive women with smaller breasts as more intelligent or more serious-minded. While this doesn't reflect reality, it reveals how biases work. Psychologically, small-breasted women may benefit or suffer from this unconscious association. Some take advantage of it, leveraging perceptions of professionalism in careers like law, business, or academia. Others may feel frustrated at being judged by appearance either way. The shocking truth: society's perception of breast size often tells us more about us than about the women themselves. They're often more comfortable with physical activity. From a practical perspective, smaller breasts make certain physical activities easier: running, dancing, yoga, etc. But psychologically, this can shape long-term behavior and body image. Many small-breasted women develop a stronger relationship with movement, sport, and fitness from a young age, which boosts serotonin, dopamine, and endorphin levels. Over time, this cultivates a more active, health-conscious mindset and greater psychological resilience to stress and body image issues. Sexual confidence and the element of surprise. There's a widespread misconception that larger breasts automatically equate to greater sex appeal. However, sex therapists and psychologists report that many men are surprised by how sexually confident and adventurous small-breasted women are. Why? Because their sexuality is often earned rather than assumed. Women with small breasts frequently work harder to understand their bodies, their turn-ons, and how to communicate in intimate situations. This self-awareness makes them more skilled, attentive, and confident lovers. They attract a different kind of partner. Psychologically speaking, men who are more secure, emotionally mature, and less fixated on surface-level beauty are statistically more likely to be drawn to women with smaller breasts. They tend to appreciate intelligence, wit, and emotional connection over physical exaggeration. This means women with small breasts may attract more loyal, thoughtful, and emotionally stable partners. Their relationships are often based on mutual respect and depth rather than mere visual attraction. Breast size and fertility myths. There's a widespread falsehood that larger breasts mean greater fertility or better maternal instincts. In truth, breast size has no connection to fertility. Breast tissue is largely fat, and its size doesn't affect a woman's ability to conceive, give birth, or breastfeed. Effectively, psychologically, the women who know this tend to feel more confident and informed. Knowledge is power, and understanding one's body scientifically helps dispel insecurities rooted in outdated beliefs. Small breasts and body image, less plastic surgery, more acceptance. Statistically, women with smaller breasts are less likely to undergo cosmetic surgery. Not because they never feel insecure, but because many reach a point of body acceptance earlier than others. Studies show that body neutrality, the practice of accepting your body without necessarily loving every part, is higher among small-breasted women in long-term research. This mindset fosters better mental health outcomes, less depression, and greater focus on goals beyond appearance. For decades, pop culture has glamorized voluptuous curves as the gold standard of femininity. But there's been a powerful shift. More actresses, models, influencers, and public figures with smaller breasts are challenging beauty norms and reshaping the cultural narrative. Psychologically, this representation matters. When young girls see women like Emma Watson, Keira Knightley, Natalie Portman, or Zendaya embracing their natural bodies, it plants the seeds of self-worth. It tells them, you are enough, just as you are. This cultural shift not only helps small-breasted women feel seen but also fosters body diversity and reduces the harmful effects of comparison and insecurity. Greater focus on emotional and intellectual connection. While some may view breasts as the ultimate symbol of sensuality, women with smaller chests often report that their romantic interactions are less about physical objectification and more about emotional and intellectual connection. This subtle shift in how they're perceived can affect self-worth. Many develop strong communication skills, emotional intelligence, and an ability to build deeper connections with partners. Psychologically, this kind of bond is more satisfying in the long run. Emotional intimacy often outweighs physical attraction when it comes to long-term relationship success, and women with small breasts frequently prioritize the depth from the beginning. The evolutionary psychology perspective. Evolutionary psychology offers fascinating insights into why breast size varies across populations. Historically, breast size was not just about attraction, it was influenced by climate, diet, and reproductive strategies. Smaller breasts are often associated with leaner body types, which were advantageous in certain environments for speed, endurance, and agility. Contrary to modern stereotypes, smaller breasts may reflect traits linked to adaptability and survival. Knowing this gives women with small breasts a sense of historical strength, and helps men and women alike understand that beauty standards are cultural, not biological truths. They're less prone to chronic back pain. This might sound physical rather than psychological, but there's a mind-body connection. Women with smaller breasts are far less likely to suffer from chronic shoulder, neck, or back pain due to weight distribution. This gives them a psychological advantage, less physical stress, less emotional exhaustion, and a better quality of life. Pain is a huge contributor to mood disorders and mental health decline. So in a surprising twist, breast size may play a small yet significant role in long-term emotional well-being. Sexual liberation and the absence of pressure. Sexuality isn't about how you look, it's about how you feel. Small-breasted women often describe a liberating sense of ownership over their sexuality, unburdened by the pressure to meet exaggerated sexual expectations placed on women with larger breasts. In intimate moments, they're often less self-conscious, more playful, and more present. This mindfulness, psychologists say, is key to healthy sexual functioning. Being less preoccupied with performance allows for deeper connection, more experimentation, and more fulfilling experiences. They're often misunderstood, but that becomes their strength. Let's face it, women with small breasts are often misjudged. They may be assumed to be less feminine, less sexual, or even less confident. But the truth, these assumptions become fuel. Many women take that misunderstanding and use it to surprise, shock, and exceed expectations. They become complex, confident, and charismatic individuals who shatter the boxes they've been placed in. And in doing so, they often inspire others to do the same. Social experiments reveal unconscious bias. Several social experiments have shown that when the same woman is digitally altered to have larger or smaller breasts, people treat her differently. In larger versions, she's often seen as more outgoing, flirtatious, or high maintenance. In smaller versions, she's seen as more intelligent, reserved, or modest. What does this mean? That how we treat others is often rooted in subconscious bias, not truth. Women with smaller breasts navigate this with awareness. Many become skilled at disarming these biases, using charm, intellect, and authenticity to reshape others' perceptions. Breast size doesn't predict relationship satisfaction. Here's a big shocker backed by science. When it comes to romantic and sexual satisfaction, breast size plays virtually no role. Relationship experts and psychologists consistently find that emotional intimacy, trust, communication, and mutual respect are the biggest predictors of happiness, not physical traits. This truth liberates women with small breasts. Once internalized, it frees them from societal pressure, allowing them to thrive in love, sex, and connection without the false burden of not measuring up. The power of not needing to prove anything. Because small-breasted women are often underestimated, they grow tired of trying to prove themselves to others. Over time, many reach a point where they stop seeking approval altogether. This shift is incredibly powerful. It's the psychological turning point where self-worth no longer depends on external opinions. Women who reach this level of emotional maturity radiate a quiet, magnetic kind of confidence. They're not trying to impress, they're just being real. And in today's filtered world, that's incredibly rare and attractive. The body is a vessel, not a verdict. At the heart of all these psychological facts is one simple truth. A woman's body, whether curvy or lean, large-breasted or small, is a vessel for her experiences, emotions, passions, and growth. It's not a verdict on her value. Women with small breasts, often more than others, come to understand this early. They learn that beauty is not in size, but in presence. Not in volume, but in voice. Not in shape, but in soul. And that realization, that's the most shocking and liberating truth of all. Breast size has long been seen as a symbol of beauty, sexuality, desirability. But when you strip away the myths and focus on psychology, something deeper emerges. Women with smaller breasts often lead lives of greater body acceptance, emotional authenticity, and personal power. They challenge norms, inspire confidence, and develop strengths many overlook. The truth is, the size of a woman's breast says nothing about her worth, but everything about how she chooses to own her body, her story, and her life. And that, above all, is what truly shocks the world.